Hey friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Sylvia and I'd love to inspire you and help you master healthy eating, but also healthy living. So if that is something that intrigues you, then be sure to click subscribe for more videos. I post at least once weekly, often also twice. So today we're going to talk about financial minimalism and how minimalism has really helped me in saving quite a lot of money. So first of all, I want to talk about what is minimalism exactly. And I made a whole video talking about what minimalism is for me, but basically in short, minimalism for me is all about conscious consumption. So really thinking about and choosing very consciously what I buy, what I watch on TV, how I spend my time. I try to really only do and have things that I truly need or that really make me happy in the long run. And questions I like to ask myself to determine this is this the best way to spend my money, or is this the best way to spend my time, or are there other options that would make me happier, would make more sense? And when it comes to financial minimalism, I apply the same concept to my finances. So for example, if let's say it's summer, it's really hot and I'm craving some ice cream, I could for one go to a Italian gelato store where the ice cream in a cone will cost me about €4, but it's great quality, it's delicious, it's handmade. Or I could go to the supermarket and buy a ready-made packaged ice cream on a stick, and that will cost me maybe €1.5. And yes, the more expensive €4 gelato will taste better, it will be more delicious. But the question is it worth my money? Now, in this specific case, I would probably say it is not, since the only thing I'm really looking for is something nice and cool to cool me down, and the supermarket ice cream for €1.5 will do the same as the €4 ice cream. So for me, the answer in this case would be that the €4 ice cream is not worth it. But it really depends on the person, what they value, and the specific situation as well. And apply this principle of is it really worth it to all different areas. So ask yourself, is this the most you can get out of your money? Is this worth it? Are you getting the most value exchange for your money? Because at the end of the day, money really is just your time. You work at a company or at a store and you trade your time for money. So when you apply this to other areas of your life, for example, to your housing, to your rent, ask yourself, are $100 more a month worth it to have an extra bedroom? Because I do see a lot of people who have guest bedrooms, a spare bedroom, but don't really have a lot of guests around. So is it worth that extra cost each month? Is it worth paying $50 more to have your Italian food on a nicely decked table with candlelight and lovely music? Or are you fine with just ordering pizza out and having it somewhere outside as a picnic? Yes, the more expensive version is often maybe the nicer, more enjoyable version, but the question is it really worth your money? Would you rather go on 2 budget holidays, or would you rather go on one holiday that is more luxury? And there really is no necessarily right or wrong answer, because the answer will be very different depending on who is answering the question. Because really everyone has very different priorities, everyone has different values. But before you answer, you should really ask yourself, is this really what you want? If it's the luxury holiday, is this truly what you want? Or do you feel some kind of pressure to seem successful, to seem happy to your friends and colleagues? Do you really want that luxury trip, or do you just want to be able to post about it afterwards on Instagram for people to see? This is especially true for brand names. A lot of times people purchase the brand name purse or shoes just to have that kind of status, or to have that confirmation that they are successful enough to buy those more expensive brand names. But those brand name purses or whatever are not really or necessarily any better. And I think a lot of us know that it is more expensive because of the name, because of the brand. And essentially you're paying extra money to have the special status of, for example, owning a Chanel purse. But what financial minimalism is not, is that it's not about saving as much money as possible and hoarding as much money as possible, because in the end, money is kind of a means to an end. We use it to exchange goods and to go about life. So the question we should really be asking ourselves is, what is most important to us? And that is the place where we can allocate our money to, and everything else we should really be cutting down our spendings in order to cater to that important thing that we value. So to me, what isn't really important is brand names. Skincare for me personally isn't very important. Things like eating out at restaurants isn't too important for me. But on the other hand, I have things that are important to me. For example, I love to travel. I prefer clothing that is made with quality materials. I prefer organic food. And if we dive a little deeper, I mentioned that travel is important to me. You could even dissect that. So for example, when it comes to traveling, I would personally rather go on a budget airline or use the train and save money there. But then I'd personally rather spend more on a private rooms, private bathroom. But for other people, it might even be the other way around. They don't really care about where they sleep when they're on holiday because they're only there to sleep, but they do care about how comfortably they travel. So as I said, there is no right or wrong answer. You just have to really determine what you value and what is most important to you. I think a lot of us have our spending dials turned all the way up. So we spend as much as we can in all areas of life, and we try to upgrade all areas of life. But a lot of times we can't support that financially. So instead we should ask ourselves, what is most important? For me personally, I'm a homebody. I love to be at home. I like my home to be cozy and comfortable. So it is something that I would rather spend a little bit more money in. But other things like, for example, transportation, car, that isn't very important to me. I would be happy driving a very old, very cheap car. So determine what area of life is most important to you and then save on all the other areas. Most of us have a few selected things that are of importance to us, and everything else we wouldn't mind if it was a little less fancy, a little less luxury. So a few areas to consider maybe are housing, car, travels, clothing, furniture, but then also things like eating out, going to the cinemas, those kind of leisure activities. Maybe are parties important to you or are they not important to you? For me, for example, I don't really care for throwing big parties or having birthday parties, so that is something where I can cut costs. But on the other hand, maybe if you're someone that loves to throw parties, loves to have lots of people over where you can connect with your family and friends, then that is important to you. But then on the other hand, maybe traveling is not important to you. So figure out what is important to you. Is maybe comfort important to you, or privacy, or is maybe fitness important to you or not important to you? Maybe you don't need that exclusive gym membership, or maybe it is important to you. Maybe you do want and feel like you would get a lot of value out of having that exclusive gym membership. But there are so many other more areas of life, and I really encourage you to maybe take some time to sit down and to brainstorm this, really think about this. So to sum it up, ask yourself, is this the best way to spend my money? Am I really getting the most value out of this if I spend this amount of money on that thing or that experience? Or would you be just as happy with it if you didn't spend as much money on it? And also, are you doing this or purchasing this or spending money here because you truly want to? Is this going to make you happy? Be careful not to confuse happiness with pleasure. It is something that is quite different. And make sure that you're doing this because you want to, not because your parents want you to, not because your neighbors expect you to, not because you want people to perceive you as a certain type of person. Do it really because you want it to. Imagine that no one could ever judge you. What would you do? So I hope this video in some way maybe helped some of you when it comes to financial minimalism. Hopefully it inspired you to save in some areas where you know that is not super important to you. Maybe got you to learn a little more about yourself. I found this type of analysis of my life really interesting. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you want to support me in continuing doing these videos here because you enjoy them so much, then feel free to check out Patreon down below. You can support me there. I have exclusive videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!